Dr. Ojwang, coming to you to what happened in Africa's diplomatic capital, Ethiopia, where you are. And on Saturday, the election of the African Union Commission chairperson, which went to Djibouti's Mahmoud Yusuf Ali, its foreign minister for a very long time, who now succeeds Musa Faki Mahamat as the new chairperson of the Continental Commission. Dr. you are part of the team that was there, and you are part of the secretariat? Part of the team that had helped Odinga formed. All right. What then went wrong? How then can Kenya be part of the third-party element here, an African voice, to rather create a rapprochement, detente between these two warring factions instead of hosting one here?
You know, I've watched Trump for many years. By the way, I met him. When he was a businessman. I don't think Trump go to bed and wake up in the morning thinking about anything about Africa at all. And I think what Trump is thinking is, what is it they have that we need to have? And how do we need to get it? So there is no any rational policy that we are going to expect during Trump administration, except what I would call extraction. How do we do it? Divide them and conquer. Is this what happened at the Berlin conference? It is all over again, Ayub. It is all over again. And, you know, whether it's Kenya or AU and Africans, desires to unite. Now, where's that unity coming from? You know, Nyerere say, wait a minute. Don't talk about unity. First of all, let's bring it by region. Let our region unite, and we have a substantive outcome. And then you can now bring the rest of Africa. But you know, Africa, everyone right now sitting in wherever they're sitting, whether it's China, whether it's Russia, whether it's America, whether it's Europe, they're all thinking, how do we go and get the maximum out of Africa? There's a real chilling war going on in the DRC right now. They're butchering each other. Those people were brought here by Uhuru and said, let's talk. Let's broker peace so you can get back and settle that place. The rest of the world don't want peace in Africa. And they care less what happened here. And so America will care less what happened to Kenya, what happened to all this country, except what we're going to get. And if we can get the person we can use for what we need, yes, that is going to happen, Ayub.
All right. So let's now turn our attention, Dr. Ojwang, coming to you to what happened in Africa's diplomatic capital, Ethiopia, where you are. And on Saturday, the election of the African Union Commission chairperson, which went to Djibouti's Mahmoud Yusuf Ali, its foreign minister for a very long time, who now succeeds Musa Faki Mahamat as the new chairperson of the Continental Commission. Dr. you are part of the team that was there, and you are part of the secretariat? Part of the team that had helped Odinga formed. All right. What then went wrong?
Thank you. Maybe before I get to the AU briefly, remember the Somali government was formed in Isili, and they have been happy thereafter. Right in Isili, transported back to Somali when it was almost impossible to do it back at home. You look at the Sudan situation, and Kenya is neutral, but there is what we call strategic neutrality. It doesn't mean you don't have an interest, but it means that your interest and the way you act is that you are neutral strategically. If you look at the situation there, the two warring factions are actually, you know, they were on the same side for al-Bashir. Right now, they have refused any dialogue. And it kind of work that if you create such a crisis, you will force now parties maybe to talk for the sake of a ceasefire and then transition to a peaceful election. After that, because right now there is a standoff and nobody's listening to each other, but people are dying. and therefore there is a need to step up a little more. Now, when it came to the AU, what went wrong? I think that is, there is a lot also that went right. One, to be a good student, let me just answer the question for West Africa and all that. And the status quo, any institution will resist reform. Prof here knows how hard it is to sell reform. And so the promise in Raila's agenda was reforming AU. And I thought that was so exciting, but at the same time dangerous. And I will tell you how it ended up being dangerous, because people don't automatically welcome reform. Number two, Kenya, Africa is not monolithic. Africa have trends, have patterns, have influences. Some of them, we are saying them here, from history, from sub-region and region, from diversity in terms of religion, from interest of who colonized who, to language, and therefore it's complex election. And and those come to bear, and sometimes steer election a different way. Finally, you know that Kenya first dealt with Djibouti in 2022 when they won the Security Council. Kenya had 128 votes, Djibouti only got 68. So we got the Security Council. We were backed up by the international community. So Kenya does very well in the multilateral. Okay. But we struggle when it comes to regional, because we struggle for this reason. We are a stabilizing factor. We are a big country. We are involved as a leader in the pack. And therefore, you will create a little bit of enemies. Right now, if you look at the BRICS influence in Kenya, in Africa, country like South Africa are members of the BRICS. And therefore, it will be hard to imagine that the BRICS will want Kenya to shine, especially when it comes to regional. Therefore, the loss, let's call it that. Of course, it was after 6th round, and the former Prime Minister was doing very well. I like this discussion because there are some issues that are coming that are neither here or there. For example, the issue of age. The UN Security General himself is 78. Fauci, who led the US during COVID, was 82. And therefore the issue of age, we brought, Amina was very young, the same fate. So the issue of age is neither here. Oh, the Kenyans sang in a restaurant. Surely this union is for Africans.
But Daktari, how then do you then justify exporting our bad political mannerism to the diplomatic capital of the continent?
What is bad with singing during dinner? Africa sing when they farm, when they wed. We are a singing people. So what is wrong in your private dinner singing? You know, those are the oversimplification, and we know that we carried the same hate here, and we are being fantastic, phony, and fabulous fake by saying those are the reason. So if Prime Minister is in his hotel dinner and Kenyans sing, those who are there for him, how does that sabotage the diplomacy? Yet the diplomacy is done at the AU. Very few people had badges. They went there and operated. So how does that affect? Now think about it.
And what about, for example, then, because that audience in Addis is not accustomed to the outcome of our politics,
particularly Ethiopia as well.
So the point is then, in the aftermath of that, what is the image projected of Kenya out of the outcome itself for future references when the UDA party and the ODM party held a joint press conference in Addis? This is not the normal Ethiopian capital. It's the capital of the continent, is it?
Fair question. So is Kenya the capital of UNEP? Right? In 72, we got the capital. We are the only UN capital here. And we people still sing here, by the way. Now, over there, whatever happened, think of the member of parliament who sponsored themselves. All it shows is that Kenyans are excited about their union. That union is for the people. You cannot achieve regional integration without the people. So what is wrong if people go to observe their process? Now let me continue. Because people learn by participating. We come from a country where there's even public participation. So what is there? Look at the role of the member of parliament who sponsored themselves. We even have regional member of parliament in East African Assembly. We have the Treaty Ratification Act that requires that every treaty come to the National Assembly. This member of parliament cannot legislate in a vacuum. You need to understand the trend, the pattern, and what is happening in the region. Otherwise, if we work in silos that now this is about Kenya and the rest is about Africa, where are you going? So there's oversimplification.
All right, point taken.
Oversimplification of Kenyans singing in their dinner. Surely cannot be fair.
Well pointed, Daktari. But public participation in Kenya is consequential, given that the report by any departmental committee will come before the House and is subject to a vote. Public participation in Addis is inconsequential.
It's a good democratic
the only one
process.
vote is that of the President. Suba.